That's it, Brian? Yes.
Hey, what is up guys, Melanie, back from the video bringing you guys another Clash Royale video. And in this video guys, we're going to be covering the balance changes for May 18th, which is going to be coming to you guys tomorrow. This video will probably be updated during the update. So yeah, we're going to run down all of these balance changes, tackle them. And first off, we got the Royal Giant damage decreased by 4%. If you guys are not in the higher arenas like Royal Arena or Legendary Arena, it's not a problem for you. It's not going to change anything. But once you start seeing the Royal Giant, you know that it's OP. And when I saw this decrease by 4%, it was just really weird. And I think the Royal Giant is still going to be really a strong card. But I think Supercell is just waiting a little bit to see if people are going to learn new counters for the Royal Giant and see if they don't need to balance him again. The next one is the freeze. So that you guys all know that Hog Freeze is such an OP combo, mostly in the lower level arenas. I mean, the freeze is like level 1, 2, 3 freeze. Okay, it's really good, but once you get higher, like Legendary Arena, you're gonna see level 5, 6 freezes, and decreased by 1 second is not that much. But I think this is a great freeze nerf because the Hog Rider and freeze is just way too OP, kind of like the Royal Giant. But yeah, so that's a really great nerf for the game. Then this is a pretty interesting one. The Furnace Elixir cost decreased to 4 from 5, and hit points decreased by 14%, and lifetime decreased to 40 seconds. So I don't know why the lifetime decreased. I mean, it wasn't that long. It's like kind of like the bomb tower used to be a minute, now it's 40 seconds. And the elixir cost decreased from 4 to 5. They could have probably made it 3, but then it would kind of be overpowered. So 4 I think is a good balance change, because you couldn't really find it anywhere up higher in the leagues. The Furnace wasn't really a card people used that often. Next up, we got the Fire Spirits area damage radius increased by 25%, which is going to mean that the Fire Spirits are going to be great counters against a horde of troops like minion hordes, goblins, basically a spawner deck. The Fire Spirit is going to do really well against those decks, and the radius is much larger now, increased by 25%, like I said before. So I think that's a good balance. The Fire Spirits are pretty good, but not that many people use them, so that might increase the use of the Fire Spirits. Okay, coming up next, we got the Guards. Hit points and damage increased by 8%. The Guards were good, but their damage and hit points weren't too good. I mean, they got one shot once they lost their shield, so I think this is a good balance change as well. But I think the percentage should be a little higher, maybe, because the damage and health is not that good. I mean, it's good to counter like a P.E.K.K.A. and things like that, but apart from that, yeah. Also, the Sparky. Counter the Sparky with guards is amazing, because the Sparky is gonna have to shoot them down. Their shield will go down, but then they have to the Sparky has to recharge, and by that time the guards will be taking out that Sparky. The minor hit points increased by 6%. These are really strange balance changes. Like the minor, I think he was fine. Hit points were kind of low, but I think they should have done damage instead, because he does do reduced tower damage. So yeah, I guess that's an okay balance change. I don't have the minor, but I've seen gameplay with it, and yeah, it's not an OP card. It's okay. I guess Hog Minor Freeze is a good combo, but apart from that, he's not like the best card. I wouldn't use him if I got him. Next up, we got the Lava Hound and the Lava Pup. So hit points increased by 3% for the Lava Hound, and hit points increased by 9% for the Lava Pups. I think what they should have done is Lava Pups, their hit points should not have been increased, because they're actually really good, and their the damage shouldn't have been increased. Should have actually been increased on the Lava Hound, because his damage is really bad. It's basically a flying golem, but I find the golem is better than the Lava Hound, because the Lava Hound is just so slow. Even though the golem is as slow, I don't know, I just don't like the Lava Hound as much as the golem. So I think we should actually increase his damage per second, the DPS for the Lava Hound. But the Lava Pups, I guess, hit points increased by 9%, but when they get on the tower, they can be pretty good. So that's a good thing for the Lava Hound and Lava Pups. I think we're going to be seeing those more often. Then Elixir Collector, his points decreased by 9%. So basically, yeah, the Elixir Collector is a very tanky card. I think this is another good balance change to the Elixir Collector for people that like Turtle and use the Mortar and just Elixir Collector or a spawner decks. I think Elixir Collector, hit points decreased. That means a fireball is going to do much more. A max fireball against maybe level 2 or 3 Elixir Collector could take it out. So I think that's a good balance change as well. Then next one, you got the Knight, hit points increased by 10%. I think this is a good increase, because if you guys are not in the higher arenas, the Knight isn't used that much, and I honestly think he's a good counter to, for example, the Musketeer, I guess the Wizard. He's a really tanky card, and he's gonna be even more tanky, so almost making him as strong as a P.E.K.K.A. basically. It's just that his DPS isn't as high, but he's a really tanky card, kind of like the Valkyrie. Next one, we're going to tackle the Bomber, damage increased by 10%. That's going to be okay. Also, the Bomber is not very used. I think Knight Bomber or Giant Bomber is actually a really good push instead of the Giant Wizard, which costs 10 elixir. The only thing is, when you do a Giant Bomber push, the Bomber has low health, so I think they should have increased his health as well. But damage increased by 10%. Spawner decks are going to be not as used, I guess, with the Bomber increasing his damage by 10%. Cannon hit points decreased by 5%. I think the Cannon was a really good card. It was originally 6 elixir, now it's 3, and hit points decreased by 5%. I guess it's not very a big balance change, but I guess it's okay, because the Cannon is a very good card for 3 elixir, and it does good. It has a lot of hit points and stuff like that for distracting like Hog Freeze and things like that. Tesla, hit points increased by 5%. This was nerfed. It used to be really good. I guess they're kind of trying to balance it better. I guess the Tesla isn't used that much. Golem and Golem, hit points increased by 5%. The Golem is also a card that is not used. I guess they're trying to make their game like every card is used, but yeah, I guess Golem and Golem, hit points increased by 5% should be a good balance. Witch damage increased by 10%. That's another card that people don't use in the higher arenas. I guess in the lower arenas you can start off with the Witch. You get the Witch after the training camp, so I guess people use it down there. I'm currently at Royal Arena, so I'm not sure about that. Skeletons affected by Tombstone, Skeleton Army, Witch Skeletons, basically any skeletons, hit points and damage increased by 5%. I think that's gonna bring a whole new world, like the Skeleton Army world, back to the game. The Witch wasn't used that much. Giant Skeleton is still kind of used. Skeleton Army isn't used as much in the higher arenas. Next up, we got the Tombstone, hit points increased by 10%. I guess the Tombstone is actually a really good counter when you just want to place it and to distract, and then when he dies, you spawn in 4 skeletons, which could take out like a P.E.K.K.A. or like it could help out with Giant. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good balance. And the last and final balance is card upgrade XP fixed for epic and legendary cards. So XP gained from upgrading epic and legendary cards will be in line with the equivalent levels of common and rare cards. That's not really a big balance, but yeah, that's gonna be basically it for the Clash Royale update review, I don't know what I'm gonna call this, whatever. So thank you all for watching. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.